Welcome to the Creation Evaluation Station. On this very special episode, we are going to be evaluating a very special set. It's this! Yes, the Forest Hideout. It is a 90th anniversary set, as you can see here. Before I get any further, if you're not familiar with my channel, I do in-depth reviews of models and construction kits, both new and old, mostly Lego, but other products as well. I also do discussions and reviews of other creative works, such as movies, video games, and cartoons. And because they're in-depth reviews, the construction model kits have timestamps down below in the description or on the little red bar here that you can use to navigate my video to get to the parts you want, or you can use them as bookmarks to come back to it later if you don't have time to watch it all at once, because they are so long. This one is a smaller set, so it shouldn't be too long. Let's get the stats for this thing. Set number 40567. It's a funny number, so I had to keep looking at it, make sure it was right. It has 258 pieces, and this is what's a little confusing, is it's for ages 18 and up. Now, I know the original set that this is based off of was not for 18 years and up. I think it's only that because it's in the Icons line, which the Icons line is pretty much meant for older audiences, because this is a retro set, but there's no saying that younger kids can't have it either. It should be fine for them to put together and stuff. Now, the price, this is where things get sticky, but very important, so make sure you're listening here. This was a gift with purchase of $150 US last month for about 2 weeks. It wasn't very long, a week or 2 weeks. And I pre-ordered the spaceship to get it. And I also got something else because I wasn't quite $150 or $20, whatever it was. But the good news is, when the castle comes out next month, August 8th, they're going to bring this back as a gift with purchase. So if you want it, make sure you're paying attention to that. Now, I don't know if it's a gift with purchase just that set or a certain amount. I hope it's not with that set. That's very expensive. 150 compared to 400 is quite a difference. I'd love to get that castle. I won't be getting it. That's just way out of my budget, my very minuscule budget. So yeah, that's how you can get it. So hopefully you're watching this before then, and if you're interested in this, you will be prepared, because it will be a limited time. They may bring it back again, I don't know. But let's take a closer look at this box, because there's stuff to talk about right here. Right down to, you see this? Yeah, that's the age. The way they used to do it, not the big, something plus. Wait, there it is. Am I looking at it right? Yeah, there it is. I also like over here, says Castle System, because that's what it used to be called. The whole Castle series theme was the Castle System. So this is gonna be fun, so let's go check it out. Here's the contents of the box. Our lovely instruction booklet in that beautiful classic orange yellow color. We have bag 1, bag 2, bag 1, and bag 2. Yeah, there's 2 of each bags, or steps, I guess. Bit weird. Very weird. But that is what we have here. Before I get any further, let's take a closer look at this instruction booklet, because since this is an icons line, we have a gray pages on the inside, which is kind of a bit, problematic for this because there's a lot of black pieces and such. But what's interesting, if you can see here, is they outline the new parts that are being added in red, which is very helpful. I don't know if there's anything else in this booklet, but that's what I noticed when I first did it. Let's see anything in the back. Nope. That's funny though. Just instructions and the final page. Oh, wait, there's something. Nope, that's it. Alright, let's go. Here is the contents of bag 1 and bag 1. We have some interesting panel pieces I've not seen before, although they've probably been around. These quarter round pieces, I guess you would call them. Definitely a lot different pieces than the original. We have the printed target piece, which is a lot different than the original, which we'll take a look at that closer later. Got some flowers, some leaves. Here's her quiver for arrows, swords, and our 2 forest men and women, because we have a forest woman in this set. And yes, there was a forest woman in the original sets. It's only in one set, I believe. I think it was the Horseman's River Crossing, but don't quote me on that. I think I have that set, but I'm not sure. I didn't get it when I was a kid. I think I got it when I was older, but that's why I'm not quite sure. I gotta remember everything I got when I was a kid. But yeah, that's bag 1 and 1. Here we have the, well, bag 2 and bag 2, which is the last bags for the set. Something interesting is these leaves are light green while the little ones are dark green. Getting a little bit of color variation in the set, which is kind of cool. Got more of these panel pieces. Have a giant noodle piece. Can't quite see it from that angle. So here, I'll lay it down. Yeah, giant noodle. Rocket fuselage. We have a little tree, pine tree. We got our lovely Forestman's shields, barrel, the lid for it, some gold studs, some macaroni pieces. And if you need the 1x2 log pieces, this is the set for you, in black, of course. Other pieces as well. Quite a lot here. It's gonna be fun. Let's go do it. Here we have our leftover pieces, and there's some of the usual suspects, like the single studs and such. But there is an extra sword. Now that, it's very nice. Back in the day, we really didn't get extra weapons like that. I know they do now more with like Ninjago and stuff. But it's also really nice in this set because, well, that is an extra sword. I checked the instructions with the parts list. There's only supposed to be one sword. But we have 2 minifigures. One has a bow, the other one has a sword, but you can have your bowman want to use a sword too. And in this case, they give you a second sword, so you could do that. So I probably won't be dumping that into my spare parts. I'll be leaving it with the set. We got some extra feathers here, which is actually not that uncommon. And we also have one of the gold pieces extra. Now, the thing is, there's enough room in that barrel to put all three in there, and I'll probably just do that. So, you know, it's extra, but can go in the set as well. And then we have an extra flower stalks, but only one little actually flower piece. So unfortunately you can't have a whole flower, but if you want a partially plucked flower, there you go. Here we have our cast of characters for this set. We have one forest man and one forest woman. Quite a bit different than from the original Forest Man, just more detailed. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's just take off their gear here quick, and we'll take a closer look. And oops. Oop. Alright, so here they are, stripped of their paraphernalia and their hair. Fortunately, they have the same torso. They only made one torso and used them for both figures. It looks nice with the extra detail. The only slight problem is the red here looks a little bit darker than the arm pieces. They didn't quite match it good, or the dark green is kind of interfering and making it look darker than it is. This guy's, their faces are both nice, but I love this guy's facial hair. He's got the chops going and a little goatee there. If we look on the back, they don't have second faces, but with the Forestman's hat, they would look really ridiculous with them. The backs are the same, just like the fronts. Same issue persists. I think that's a slightly darker red. I feel, yeah. Other than that, that looks nice. I like the, you know, the pattern for making the clothing look more clothing-like, so to speak. But that is that. Said we got a forest woman here. There was one other female forestman in one of the older sets, and I'm not sure which one it is right now. I think it's the river crossing one, like I said before. Might have to look that up. But these guys are nice, just the same. Here's our finished tree house. Looks pretty good. We'll take a closer look at it here in a moment, and already looked at the figures. We'll take a quick look at that archery thing, because that's pretty cool. Before we look at it too close, let's open it up and see what it looks like opened up from the outside. So, see, it folds out. Oops. No pointed edges to grab it on. So there, it opens up like that. You get a much bigger looking structure, but it's not as in depth. And spinning around here, there's inside. There's a lot of space in there. Don't want to get too much into comparing it to the older one, but yeah, this is what we got here. We have our barrel here with our gold pieces in it. dump them out. Oop, they stuck together. Yeah, there's the gold. Well, they wouldn't be doubloons. Crowns. Yeah, gold crowns. We'll call them crowns. Hide in the barrel. Can sit in there. They can go up there. They can go anywhere. But you can put figures in here. There's plenty of room. There's room here for some figures. Although it's only one stud deep. Except for back further in. We have a nice ladder that goes up in there. The bottom floor's got some space and stuff to go out. We have the doorway here that comes out here. And I have more to say about that later when we do the comparison. Here at the base, we got a nice little mushroom, which adds some color and charm to this set. We got a spear hanging here, out here, just for emergency purposes, I suppose. A tree, nice yellow flower. This is the entrance here. You can sneak in the back. Some nice round curvatures. The shaping on this tree is kind of nice, gotta admit. Improvement over the first one, I guess. And moving up here, we got the building part of the forest tree house thing. Got some shields out there for decorations. Although you can pull them off and have your characters, your figures use them as well. Got our nice tiled roof that they use smooth tiles for. And a flag. We got these way up top. Alright, let's open it up, check out the inside. So, all the way open. There we go. Doing it with one hand. Got plenty of room there on the second floor and the balcony or whatever you want to call it. You can shoot arrows through there. Got even more room here on the other side. And down here on the first floor, there's that entrance again. Nice wide opening. We actually have a ladder going up to the second floor, which is nice. And there's room for figures on both sides. Although, if you close it up, I don't know how well they would all fit in there. They'd be fine on the second floor. If you put one over here and then put, one over here, they'd be fine. Second floor, I don't know. There's space there for at least one. I don't know. They might bump into each other. If you tried putting two on the bottom. But that's it. There's not too much going on the inside. We're back here at the desk. Going to give this my quick final thoughts, and then you give it the final eval. Overall, I like this set. I kind of knew I would. It's based off my favorite set from when I was a kid. Yeah, there's some differences, but it's pretty much the same. Yeah, let's give it a final eval, and because I'll talk more about it there. I don't want to ruin my final eval through my final thoughts, but yeah, overall, I enjoyed this set. I like this set. So as far as appearance goes, it looks great. It looks like the original. It looks a little bit better than the original with the kind of smoother design and some of the newer pieces that were used with it. The only small gripe with the appearance is that the female, or that these both have the same torsos. They didn't have a separate torso, because all the old Forcemen, there were, three or four different torsos. There's a rare black one that was in one set, and I think only one set. But yeah, there were like several different torsos, and these both have the same. So kind of disappointing in there, and the fact they don't actually match the older ones. There's nothing wrong with them. They look great. They're more detailed than anything older ones. It's just, they're not the same. So I can't, when you mix them, I mean, they look fine with the older ones, I guess, but it's just, that's more of a nitpick than anything. But other than that, the set looks great. That's really, like I said, a nitpick more than anything. The design for this little target is pretty neat, and the old one was very simple, but this one's a little bit more complicated. It looks smooth. It's a bit more realistic looking. But yeah, so this thing looks great overall, and I gave it a 10 for appearance. Now, let's see. Yeah. So, function, everything works okay. There just really isn't anything that has a lot of high function. It's more of a play set. It's not a vehicle. It doesn't transform. It doesn't roll. It doesn't like that. It does open up, so I guess that it's kind of a transformation. But there's nothing amazingly function, but there's nothing broken with it either. So I gave it a 9. Let's see. Now for fun, I have a biased reason, but a more realistic reason why I gave it a lower score. The biased reason is I have another video coming out right after this one where we can go and compare this with the original. I have the original. And I had to dig it out of a box, and it was broken down a little bit. So I get the instructions out and fill it. Yes, I still have the instructions. I had to fix it up. While building it, I was reminded how it was built. I think I tore it apart and put it back together at least once or twice. I didn't do that a lot to my sets, but I probably needed parts or did some, I don't know why. But I remember putting it together more than once. Then while I went through, while I didn't completely put it together, it was holding together for the most part, but I had to fix some things. But I found it much more fun putting that set together than this. There's some neat techniques, which we'll talk about later, for making these branches and stuff, but the older set had its own unique way of doing it, a different way of doing it. But it was more fun to assemble than this, if you can understand that. These are clever, but very simple. That one, they were clever. It may be a little bit more complex. They also don't allow for movement as much as these do. But the process of building it was kind of fun, as you were. It wasn't just a mirror image of one side or the other. They were kind of all over the place with the pieces, so that you could build these, looking like a tree with the different branches growing at different heights and different locations. There's no, it's very organic, attempting to mimic the organicness of a tree. Which, I mean, this does to some extent, but this does it differently. While the other one was more brick built, well, this uses other types of pieces to accomplish that goal. And just that being brick built and the watching it come together was much more fun than putting this together. Not that this was terrible or anything. But that's more of a bias to the older set, and I'm not really changing the grade for that, but I thought I'd add that in there. The other thing, which is also a part of the biasness, is the hole back here is really large, and the older one, it was smaller, but it was smaller for a reason. you were supposed to hide it behind the pine tree, or put the pine tree in front of it, and it's supposed to hide the hole so that they sneak behind the little tree and then go into the big tree. This one, we only have a small tree and a really big opening, so it's not like that's going to cover up anything. Now, the hole is in the back of the tree anyway, so you could say that the people passing by wouldn't notice it or whatever. But that was a little bit of charm and a little bit of fun the older set had that this one kind of lacks. But that is once again more of a bias thing. The only thing I am really going to judge this for is the fact that there are no enemies. There's just the two forest men. In this case, a forest woman, forest people, whatever. But the thing is, the original set had the same problem. There were no additional bad guys or good guys, depending what you consider the forest men, where their alliance was. Just simply a guy on a horseback that they could, jump down and rob or whatever. Oh, and the other older set had like vines that they could swing on too. That's kind of fun, and this doesn't have that. Although I don't know if these branches would actually hold their weight. Just thought about that. But yeah, so fun ended up getting a 9. Not a big deal, but a little bit lower score just for the imbalance of characters here. Now techniques. There's some neat techniques here. But basically for the branches, but when you get for the main build in here, the branches and I would say the roots a little bit, there's some unique build. But the main tree is very plain in its construction. A lot of bricks on top of bricks, or large pieces being placed in there. And there's nothing bad about this, but just because there's nothing really great, and that's kind of, the branches are kind of neat, so I said it's going to balance it out, and I gave technique a 9 as well. So if you take all that up, you get, 37? Yeah, 37 divided by 4, and you get a 9.25, which we round up to a 9.5. And that is the score. Now, as far as price goes, I already talked about it at the beginning. There really is no set price for this. Like I said, it was a gift with purchase with $150. Now you got the other $150 other Lego stuff along with this on top of it, so it's sort of free, but sort of isn't. So you had to dish out $150 to get this. That's definitely a poor parts to price ratio, majorly. But in other words, I'm not going to give this a grade. To be honest, you could say it probably would get an F, considering you had to pay $150 just to get it. But it's still kind of a freebie too. It's a kind of mixed bag, and I'm not going to include a price grade. So yes, the final eval is a 9.5, and this is a pretty good set. It's a smaller set. And as far as prices going, the original set was around $18. I imagine this would probably be $25 to almost $30, the way things are going nowadays. But yeah, that's probably about right. So I have a little bit of news. Is after this video, I'm going to be releasing a comparison video with the original. As I mentioned earlier, I do have the original. So keep an eye out for that. It might be coming out the next day. After this is released, it's going to be shorter. I've already got most of it done. I've just got to finish this one up and then get to that. So yeah, look forward to that. And if you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll enjoy that as well, but please hit that like button. And if you're new here and haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the notification so you're notified when YouTube decides to notify you that my videos are out. And on that note, check out my Twitter and Facebook links down below, where I will notify you through those when I get a video out. Much faster than YouTube systems, for whatever reasons, are quite delayed. I've seen it up to a 3-day delay. It's like, no views, no views, no views. Oh, all of a sudden, oh, I got views now. Go figure. But anyways, yeah. So, like, subscribe, do all that lovely YouTube stuff to help my channel grow if you want to see more here. And, you know, your contribution just by subscribing and commenting, yeah, please comment what you guys think about down below, and I will respond. I partially wanted, this is my hobby, as long as it is trying to show and trying to make, you know, I don't know about a living, but I do want to talk and discuss these with you, the viewers. So yeah, but any interaction, likes, you know, comments, whatever, help the video grow, and sharing it with others will too. So that's it for me here at the Creation Evaluation Station, reminding you that creativity is key.